Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis Server 68. So we've gone over all sorts of different features with the assistant generals. And now we're going to look at your wall general. So in order to do that, we should go over here. I've kind of covered it a little bit on other things. And as you can see with me, I have my main wall general, Joseph Johnston, aka George Dewey. So he is up. And you could see his books. I got him to 6th star. He is beginning the ascend, and now I'll probably pause with him because the 7th star is just a hospital, and he doesn't really gain a value until the 8th star again. So that would be a lot of blood of heirs used into just getting him to the 8th star, where I could probably benefit more by having other people get to the 6th star and then get back to JJ. So, anyways, basically, you're going to pair him with another general and just play around and see what works there. Right now, I have Shajar, and I'm not worried about getting attacked by anybody. This isn't Battlefield, but I still am cautious, and I still made sure that I put attack books or defense books on her, right? Military books. I don't have gathering on her. I don't have her empty. I made sure that she does have something that would help should something happen and I dropped bubble and people were to attack me. But let's look at what I would do in a battlefield time. So there's lots of different thoughts here. Some people have said that they're going to put more debuffs on. So they'd add maybe someone like Andrew Jackson, or, lots of people have extra Andrew Jacksons sitting around. And because the thinking was before that people would have, 8 Andrew Jacksons and 1 CC, and then all these other new generals came out. Farragut and Darius and Barbarian King and Baldwin, and then now people just have their Andrew Jacksons sitting around. So anyways, some people think maybe I need more debuffs. CC, a lot of people, she's made a comeback in sub-generals. So I am going with Zach Taylor. The reason I'm going with him is I just feel one of my biggest weaknesses on the wall with JJ is archer attack. So this guy just focuses right on there, 50%. And then the books I went with, in my opinion, wall general, you got your big ones that you want to go with, right? You got siege attack, ground defense, horse HP. Those are your main percentages that affect troop buffs, right? But there's other things you could go with too. You could go with archer attack book. You could go with ground attack book. Any of those HP defense attack books. I'm going with a variety of siege attack. I got horse HP on Johnston. Then I'm trying out all the range and speeds. So mounted troop speed, ground troop speed, siege range bonus, archer range bonus. Now, traditionally, I haven't liked to have mounted troop speed or range troop bonus on. And the reason for that is I just felt my archers die from attacking other people, and my horse die the first hit someone puts on me. So why commit books to that? So some people would rather put ground troop defense on instead of one of them, right? Some people would rather put, I don't know, maybe more horse defense. I don't know, right? There's so many options you can go with as a wall general, and no one can really criticize you on that. So who you want to pair with your wall general is really up to you. But what you want to do is you want to look at your buffs and basically just figure out what your sort of weakness is and go with that. So I think this is me. Yeah, this is from our last battlefield against Ape. They are an amazing alliance. Ape Hunter. This used to be Ikram. Good guy. Used to talk with him often about mechanics in the battlefield. And as you can see, I have Dewey and Taylor. And the stars aren't supposed to matter for Taylor, but I probably will star him up because I'm sure that will matter at some point. But if I look at my defensive buffs here, My siege attack is pretty good at 1376. I know there's people out there with 16, 17, 1800, maybe more now. But the fact is, I'm VIP 16. I have to be realistic. I'm not going to get 2000 siege defense buff. Not only because I'm not getting the defense, the VIP attacks, but I'm also not. I don't have the gear. That's what happens when you don't have the VIP, right? It's not just the VIP buffs that you get. It's that I don't have 6 pieces of gear. So if you want to look at what that looks like, we could go to general rankings here. So this guy in my alliance, amazing player, amazing account. He has 6 pieces of gear, and then look at what he gets to put on it, right? He gets those 6 out of 6 buffs. So that's the sort of thing that I'm lacking, and I have to be realistic, and you should be realistic also when you're picking what you're going to do. So going back to my buffs here, one thing I've been kind of cognizant and looking at is my ground HP. I would like to get that up a little bit. I'd like to get that over 900. I've brought it up. It was low 700 just a couple weeks ago, and I've managed to bring that up a lot. So that's something I am working on. Range troop, I'd like to get my range HP up as well, but I got the range attack up, and that is probably more important at this point. I do have some flats on some of these things I'm talking about if we looked at my wall general. So I'm not overly concerned about some of this. Horse HP 935, I do have some flats on that. Same with my ground HP actually. And horse defense, I'd like to get that over 900. So that's a book I could consider if I'm starting to see that those speed books or the archer range book aren't really working because my troops are dead. And if that's the case, why do I want Zach Taylor on the wall, right? If he's giving me 50% of troops that aren't even there. So there's also things you can look at. You could change your assistant wall gen during the battle. So I have another guy that I did set up, and I would consider changing to him if it was late in the battle and we've been attacking a lot and I've lost a lot of archers. I would consider switching to Rage King, who I have somewhere here, right here. You can see I have defense books on him because he was my original wall general. And he increases all troops by 10%. And as he was my original wall general, I did do some very low level rune stones on him back in the day. So I could throw him on. So there would be no shame in doing that, right? People do change their generals around. I know some people, very big players, who will change their gear on their generals. So when their horses are gone, and I'll show you here. So I have a lot committed, right? 3 out of 4 committed to mounted troop HP. 2 out of 4 committed to mounted troop HP there. People will change that. They'll be like, you know what? I'm going to put on my ground HP gear or my siege HP gear because all of my mounted troop are dead, so why keep wearing that gear? And that's something I'm actually thinking about doing. Now, I wouldn't put too much refines into it. Like, I'm not going to commit 300,000 refined stones to doing that. But I'll roll a few times and maybe get some higher percentages in like the 15, 18%, lock them in just a little bit and see how it goes. It is something that I am considering doing, but I just think I have more important stuff to continue to use my refined stones for. So as we are in peacetime, or bubble is up, I guess, I'm going to go back and put Shajar back on the wall and get a little bit more resources before Battlefield tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tonight. We have just such a terrible matchup. It's going to be so boring. So if I'll show you our matchup, these alliances don't even add up to half our size. We're just going to be chasing them around, playing with buildings. So not sure if I'm going to stream tonight, guys. But if we do get a more competitive matchup, I will stream. So that's it. Let me know what you're doing with your wall generals, what you're playing around with. Are you going with backup generals as the battle changes and your troop composition in your city changes? Genghis, server 68, like, subscribe, leave a comment.